Okay, so in the short term, based on this specific part of the price action, I think now I have a decent idea of what should I pay attention to in order to be able to say maybe we are bullish or possibly bearish. And in this video, I am going to talk to you about those times. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And again, as per usual in every single video, I would like to say, no matter what is going to happen in the short term in here in Algorand, one way or the other in the midterm, meaning in the next couple of months, I am 1000% bullish, and our invalidation point for the bullish scenario is going to be taking the lowest low all the way down here around, let's say, 10 cents. So as long as we are not doing that, I think we are absolutely fine, and the structures definitely do suggest bullish. Now let's zoom in more and see what is happening in here. So here's the situation. I can actually find a 5-wave up in here, and followed by that maybe a correction down in this area, but I'm having some problems with this move up and also this move on the downside. Now, in case that you are a new viewer and you haven't watched my previous videos before, okay, you should know that in my analysis, I use a lot of Elliott waves. And if you want to argue, for example, we are going to have our final bottom around here. Maybe this is like a very important support. Okay, we must be able to find off of the lowest low in this region, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive structure, our wave 3 in here should not be the smallest wave. And for our sub waves, we need to have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have so many different possibilities. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's say, yep, ABC into wave 4 and a WXY into wave 2. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart and count some waves and see what is happening. So here's the thing. I told you this can be off of the lowest low, 5 wave up into a wave 1, and then maybe this is a correction for wave 2. Okay, let's just for now go with this scenario. I'm going to tell you what are the problems with it. And then after this wave 2, the idea is if we are actually bullish and the bottom is in, we are on our way to complete the sub waves for a big wave 3 and then 4 and then 5. Now, here's the deal. If something like this is going to be in play, then okay, odds are this is also another 1 and 2, but on a lower degree relative to this 1 and 2 in here. And soon we're going to get decent move up into wave 3, 4, 5 in order to complete the sub waves for this orange wave 3. And this is our problem. You see, into this wave 1, we must be able to find a 5 wave up. And here's a question. How exactly are you able to say this is a 5 wave on the upside? Let's actually go on 15-minute chart and check out different possibilities. So scenario number 1, are we going to say maybe this is like 1, this is 2, this is wave 3, and then correction for 4, another move up into wave 5? Well, okay, according to this possibility, is wave 3 the smallest wave or not? I don't think that I need to show it to you. It is clearly the smallest wave, which again, if you remember earlier, we said this is a big no-no in Elliott waves. So this possibility cannot be in play. What about this thing? Can this be our wave 1 and then correction for 2, another move up into wave 3, 4, 5? Well, according to this thing, let's measure the length of our wave 3 from here to about this point and compare it to the other waves. Is wave 3 in this case smaller than wave 1? The answer is yes. Is it also smaller than a wave 5? The answer is also yes. And unfortunately, this scenario is not going to be in play as well. So what's the idea in here? In my opinion, there is a very high chance that in this move on the upside, we're not having an impulse, and odds are this is going to be a correction structure, which brings me to the second challenge on Algorand's chart in the short term. Let's compare these two moves on the upside. Let's measure this one. There we go, and put it right in here. As you can see, these two moves are actually quite similar in terms of size. And that makes me say, you know what, maybe this and also this one are going to be from the same degree. And since in here we're not able to find an impulse, then okay, look, we are probably dealing with a corrective movement off of the lowest low in here, about 28 cents, and not an impulse. And what does this mean? It means probably this move down is going to continue a bit, and in it we are going to at least take the lowest low in here for the first target around 28.5 cents. Now, this is not all the story, because there is a possibility in my mind which in it I might be able to find a bullish scenario in here. And here is how. I can tell you, maybe this is 5 wave up into wave 1 so far, okay? But from this side to somewhere around the recent price action, we are having a correction for wave 2, and after our correction is over, we're gonna get big move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And for our wave 2, we may have an ABC in form of a running flat, which is going to look like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we're going to take this side and then another move down into our C leg. And this is the main point. In this leg, we are not going to take the low of our wave A, okay? This is very, very important. Let's go on the live chart, zoom in more and see what is happening. So I can definitely tell you, instead of having an impulse, maybe this is just an A, B, C zigzag on the upside, and then maybe this is also another ABC, and from this high we can say, look, this is one, probably I would say wave 2 to about here, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, in order to complete the sub waves for, you know it, an A, B, C running flat. So you see, we can actually have a bullish possibility in here in Algorand, but this is the key. Every single scenario should have a very important invalidation point. And what is going to be the invalidation point for this scenario? I'm gonna say it's actually taking this low about, let's say, 31.5 cents. So here's a very important point. If for the next 24 to maybe even 48 hours, we see a continuation of this move down in order to take this low, at that point we are going to say, you know what, we are indeed having a correction up in here and not an impulse, and our move down from here is going to continue, and in it we might also take the lowest low in this region for the first target around 28.5 cents, and we may go a bit lower than that. Does this mean that at that point we're going to be in here overall bearish in Algorand? No. In fact, I would like to argue that if we do something like this, this is actually going to provide a great long opportunity for those of us who are looking for long or short opportunities with a great risk to reward ratio. And again, let me just say it, after this final move on the downside, I am definitely counting on a very strong bounce back, not only in Algorand, but also in a lot of altcoins. And I would say, yeah, probably also Bitcoin as well. So the idea is either the bottom is in on Algorand, or maybe we're gonna have one more lower low and then the bottom is going to be in, and we're gonna get a big move on the upside. And how can we say whether this or the previous possibility which suggested that the bottom is in is going to be in play? Well, you need to have your eyes on this low in here. If we take it, the bearish scenario is in play. On the other hand, if in the next couple of hours, maybe in the next day or two, we see a very strong move up in form of an impulse, something like this, okay? At that point, we can definitely consider the bullish possibility a bit more and say this was actually an A, B, C running flat. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some DCNTA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.